And at 10, red axolotl. Breeding axolotls has become the shiny hunting of Minecraft, forcing hundreds of axolotls to relentlessly just go at each other until one comes out. Blue is probably the best pastime, at least in 1.17, since the blue axolotls are only a 1 in 2,000 chance. But be warned, there is another color of axolotl that is even rarer than blue and far more deadly. I don't know how rare they are, but while I was trying to get a whole army of blue axolotls, I ended up making a red one. At first I thought Minecraft had finally added defects as a consequence of inbreeding, but I don't think that's what happened, because this red cutie was absolutely vicious. Axolotls aren't supposed to fight other axolotls and unhostile ocean mobs, but this guy would attack anything in his line of sight. He wiped out my axolotls within a minute and then tried to kill squid and even dolphins in the adjacent area. Luckily he was blocked off from the rest of the sea, but this guy was a maniac. Eventually he gave up on the other animals and I went to check on him. Instead he attacked me, and he was dealing 4 hearts of damage every hit, and I had on full netherite armor. I quickly closed the world before I could die, but when I joined the next morning, the red axolotl was gone. And at 9, disc 14. Loading into a new world was underwhelming to say the least. Since the 1.17 update came in 2 parts, the world hadn't really changed much aside from a couple of new blocks and textures, as well as some animals. But one thing I wasn't expecting, and that I didn't see mentioned in any patch notes or websites talking about the update, was a new music disc. The one was fairly easy to find. I found it right away in a dungeon that had spawned near the surface of a desert. I brought it back to my base and got to mining so I could find a diamond to make a jukebox. But when I played it, it was not what I expected. Disc 14 had a similar vibe to Disc 13 and 11. It started off with walking on sand, then digging and fighting off a couple spiders. Then it changed. It was digging stone in a consistent pattern as if it was strip mining. Then you could hear the faint sound of monsters being fought. That's when it clicked. This is everything I had done since the start of my world. This disc, somehow, was recording me. At least until the end of the disc came, and the player death sound played. And it ate dripstone. I had set up a mechanism to kill the wither using dripstone. I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube, where you have a series of pistons above a hole all the way to bedrock that you fill with dripstone, but mine never seemed to work. I would safely press the button from my base, but nothing would happen. The dripstone would fall, but not hurt the wither. I made sure the hole was on the wither's hitbox, and it was. Everything should have been working fine. So I figured it was an issue of the dripstone falling too far away from me and despawning. So I waited next to the machine in an attempt to drop it. And it worked, but instead of falling down the hole, the dripstone somehow fell onto me. Keep in mind, I wasn't underneath it. It somehow fell into the hole and warped above my head, killing me instantly. No matter what, anytime I dropped the dripstone, it would land on my head. If I was underground, above ground, under a roof, it didn't matter. It followed me. I could have been on the other side of the world, and a dripstone would still fall and kill me. At least, I think they were falling. They may also have just been spawning above my head. And at 7, red-eyed goat. The official 1.17 update didn't add caves or cliffs, ironically, but they did manage to add the planned mobs to the game. The goat is my favorite one. It's the goat, with the glow squid being my least favorite. Understandable. At least until I saw it. I was at my base after updating my world. I had been building an underground city in an extreme hills mountain, when it was suddenly flooded with goats. Like the mob cap was being taken up by all the goats that were swarming my base. It was incredibly out of hand, so I did the one thing that anyone would do in that situation. I made a giant hole and started pushing them into it.
This is Sparta!
I didn't attack them because somehow these goats are pretty strong and I didn't want to lose my 100 levels. So as I pushed these beasts into the fiery hole of hell, they seemed to be disappearing, and I seemed to be reclaiming my base. However, when I got back the next day, after clearing them all out, they had somehow returned. Even though this was a single player world and there was no way that they could have spawned while the world wasn't being loaded. I also noticed that they seemed to be more gray than before, and also somewhat transparent. The only one that seemed normal was one goat standing over looking over my village, but this one had red eyes. I walked up to it, but it checked me, and even though I didn't attack it, it knocked me off the cliff and nearly killed me. Now it chases me around my world, forever trying to kill me. And at 6, the Warden. The experimental 1.18 snapshots are insane. The depths of the world are incredible to see, at least if you have torches. Without them, you're basically blind. This spelunking mission started off like any other, with my 4 stacks of torches and my wits. I dove deep into the caverns beneath my base in an attempt to find some SKULK sensors for redstone builds that I had seen online. It took nearly 2 hours, but eventually I stumbled into a cave that had some bits of SKULK along the floor. So I got out my snowballs in case a warden showed up and jumped inside. There were no wardens from what I could see, which was lucky since I didn't have much gear, and if that thing got a hold of me, I'd be a goner. So I walked through carefully, until eventually I found a SKULK sensor. As I approached it, it sensed my movement and did its signature thing. I thought it was fine since it wasn't connected to anything, but god was I wrong. As it lit up, a warden spawned on top of it, and instantly it knew where I was. I tried running, tried shifting, tried towering, it knew. It was also able to break blocks and came at me with relentless force as I ran back to my base. Nothing was stopping it. It even followed me into the nether. It was also able to break the bedrock of the nether roof. Halfway through into number 5, failed to load version. I was so excited for the first part of the Caves and Cliffs update. The day it came out, I made sure I was home so I could load it up on my computer. I did that and then started working, letting it install so that I could play it when I was done. When I clocked out and went to my computer, however, it wouldn't load. I kept getting the same message over and over. Error, failed to load version. I looked it up online and there was nothing about this error message for any of the Minecraft versions, let alone 1.18. I figured it was just a mistake, so I tried again. Nothing. Tried giving it more memory. Nothing. Closed all my background tasks. Nothing. It got to a point where I just started clicking play over and over again to no avail. I started and just couldn't stop. That was 3 days ago. I haven't moved from this spot since. I haven't worked, haven't ate, I haven't even drank water. I can't get myself to move. I need to play the update. Error, 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 error. Failed to load version. And at 4, player 2. I know that there's people trying to work out the hidden lore of Minecraft, but Mojang added some weird mechanics in 1.17 that makes me scared to find out the truth. I was playing hardcore 1.17 when I stumbled across a woodland mansion. I was pretty decently geared, so I figured I'd go in and grab myself a totem of undying. I fought my way through the various illagers until I came across a room full of blue and gray wool. It was weird, but I know those have been in the game for a while. When looking for the evoker, I came across the altar room as well, which did indeed have the evoker inside, but when I ran up to attack it, I saw that same blue and gray wool, and the evoker was holding the totem of the undying. As I got closer, the evoker looked at me and touched the wool with the totem, and the wool seemingly came to life, making a new player, simply named Steve, with the default Minecraft skin. He ran at me and started punching me, but thanks to my gear, the attacks basically did nothing. But when I went to kill this new player, he wouldn't die. Well, what I should say is he would die, but he had what felt like infinite totems of undying. I left the mansion, but Steve kept following me. I made it back to my base, but as I did, he broke my helmet, and then he put it on. He was stealing my armor. I closed the game, but even when I sleep, I can't stop hearing the constant sound of being punched by another player. Getting close to the end in number 3, bloop. There are many naming Easter eggs in Minecraft, like naming mobs dinner bone turns them upside down, or naming a sheep Jeb underscore will make it a rainbow, or the lesser known Vindicator name of Johnny turning them into a living Shining reference. But there was one I discovered accidentally for axolotls that I really don't recommend. I had finally managed to get a blue axolotl, which was 1 in a 2,000 chance. So I wanted to name it after a fish I had as a kid. I got a name tag and named my new blue axolotl Bloop after my first pet. But doing this caused some really weird things to happen. Firstly, the axolotl changed from a blue to a semi-transparent white. Bloop also started attacking every creature it could. He attacked other axolotls in the tank and even tried getting out onto land to attack my nearby farm animals. Once I had made sure to seal him in, Bloop started spawning guardians. I don't know why, since axolotls are supposed to attack guardians, but these seemed friendly towards him. It was especially concerning when he spawned the Elder Guardian on the top of the tank. That's when I closed my game and never opened that world again. But ultimately, in at number 2, SKULK. It was the day of the latest 1.17 snapshot, and I was working my way down to the new layer of the world, going below where bedrock would have been the last update, and into the bowels of my Minecraft world. It was dark, so dark in fact that torches wouldn't light more than 3 blocks away. Night vision potions were the way to go, since mobs would spawn unless you could place torches every few blocks. I searched the deepest reaches of my world for hours, even if it felt like days, not coming across anything I was hoping for. They had added SKULK sensors, but wardens weren't in this snapshot. I continued through the caves, with all new ambient sounds that were creepier than ever before, looking for SKULK sensors. All the while fighting off waves and waves of mobs. It took ages and many pickaxes, but at around 2 in the morning I finally stumbled onto a SKULK cave and there were no mobs to be seen. I guess only wardens were able to spawn on the SKULK infested blocks. I walked into the wave, and just as I stepped inside, my night vision potion wore off. I checked my inventory and that was my last one. My under chest was also empty, so I continued inside, hardly being able to see. But out of the corner of my eye, I see what looks like glowing white eyes blink. At first I thought it was an enderman, but when I look at where the eyes were, they just disappeared, instead of getting mad and attacking. I take a step closer and my character freezes, almost as if they're frozen with fear, but I can't move at all. I can open my inventory and my menus, but I can't move an inch. I go into third person and see what's wrong, and see my skin slowly being transformed, as if the SKULK was crawling up me. It moves quickly, and soon enough I'm covered in SKULK. Then my character starts growing. I go back to first person to see my vision also disappearing. My screen slowly gets black, and I am the world's first warden. And finally, in at number 1, cave-in. It was dark and raining outside. I was home alone playtesting the new Caves and Cliffs snapshots. The new world gen was beautiful, but still felt like Minecraft. The cliffs were steep and the caves deep. The world seemed to be living with all new areas and more, but the caves were more than I had bargained for. The giant dripstone caves were magnificent, but worrying. It felt like a dripstone would fall on me at any moment. But the thing is, it didn't fall on me, it fell behind me. Somehow, a dripstone had fallen behind me and crashed into the ground, causing the cave to seal behind me. Now, this would normally have been fine. It was Minecraft. Half the name is mine for crying out loud, but my pickaxe only had a few uses left, and I was in hardcore, so punching through would put me at risk, since it would take so long, especially in the pitch black caves of Minecraft 1.17. But I tried anyway. I managed to break 2 bits of stone with my pick before it broke, and then I proceeded to punch the rest. It took ages, I forget how long, and the game knew what I was doing. It knew I shouldn't be doing it, so it started hurting me. It started making my fist bleed and my vision foggy. It took all night, but by the time I got out, my character was covered in his own blood, and my eyes had grown accustomed to the dark. I hit F5 to see the full effects of punching through layers and layers of stone, only to see that my character, who looked like Steve, now had glowing white eyes.
Number 10, we got Alex Brine. Well, you already know about my almighty homie Brian, but did y'all know about Miss Alex? And if you thought homie Brian was the worst, just wait until you meet his girl. Now, Alex Brine doesn't just act like her significant other homie. She's just a little bit more laid back to an extent. She will load into your village like a regular NPC, but with a twist. She's in your house with no invitation, not even a damn Netflix and chill message. Using your bed, going through your clothes bin, trying out your outfits, aka the boyfriend jeans. She is trifling, I tell ya. How you gonna be at my place when, you know, Hero is my homie, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got the Minecraft swag, don't get me wrong, but still, Alex is toxic AF. She eats all your food, takes all your resources, she's over there acting like a ghost you just can't do nothing to, let alone leaving you bougie ass notes saying she was here. So you came to the crib, you did your laundry, and you bounced, yeah? Don't even mention HEROBRINE either, because yeah, she rages and your life becomes a living hell. Hey yo, homie Brian, I don't know what you did to Alex, but damn, turning my world red, running after me crying blood, my G. Go take Alex on a date. I don't want no smoke. Going on to number 9. Giant Alex, and if regular Alex wasn't bad enough, but now we got that big old Titan having ass Alex. Seeing us builders and crafters going through the game finding our materials and potions. Now this ain't like Attack on Titan, but it sure seems like it because Alex wants to be a warrior and the best in the crafting world. Takes a deep journey to go get the so-called spinal blood fluid. After receiving, she becomes a warrior and she's off to battle. She wants to become the champion by no means necessary, drinking the spinal fluid daily, not just like, regular. She takes it daily, becoming the big old titan on her last battle, or should I say the first titan, right? Where is her nape? Where is Captain Levi? I guess HEROBRINE, the shadow is taking a toll. Oh shoot, I think I just said HEROBRINE. God damn it, I gotta go out of here. Coming in at number 8, Entity 303, Ender Dragon. Yeah, Entity 303 Ender Dragon, you put that all together. We talked about 303 Entity before, okay? Now this one is bananas, because I freaking love dragons. But the Entity 303, honestly, it's just badass. You do not want to counter one of these bad boys. Now, like I said, remember, Entity 303 is a virus that can obliterate your game. Well, the Entity Ender Dragon is just the worst. Without fully destroying your game, it's still playable. That's if you can beat him. He is so deadly. His blast alone destroys pieces of the end, leaving you in awe, erasing your mind, body, and soul. You do not want to get hit by this guy. He deletes body parts. Try swinging at him, you will lose your limbs. The best way to take him down is with enchanted arrows, but even that is not good enough. What makes it worse? You're fighting in a zone that is getting smaller, and if the dragon is not beat in the allotted time, say bye-bye to your world. Going in at number 7, we got rabid wolves. Ooh, I like this one because I like wolves. They're not that friendly in the game unless you feed them, right? Well, you can't feed these ones, and they definitely hunt in packs. No matter if it's day or night, these wolves don't play with their food. They're gonna hunt you down. Watching from a distance how they mangle the cow, a horse, and a sheep on their way back to my place is crazy. You hear them howling in the distance, and if you think your farm is safe behind a wooden fence, you are wrong. They chew through it like it's a damn chew toy. And yeah, they will chew through it just to get to your animals. So don't get caught out in the open without raw meat. They still won't be your friends, but it's a quick diversion for you to get the heck out of there. These wolves, they do not back down. And when you see one, the squad is very close by. Coming in at number 6, we got frenzied golems. Golems are the lovable giant and protector of our lands, or so you may think. Frenzied golems, they're just dirt nasty, I tell ya. Dirt nasty.
Dirt nasty.
Neighboring villages all have golems. Shoot, I even have a pet one in my house, thanks to my friend Cat. The frenzied part is the worst because you just go to the villages to get the loot and trade. But not with these frenzied golems. They attack on sight. They do not care if you're a zombie or even part of the mob squad. You are gonna catch the hands. All you can do is run and hope water separates you. Any village, any place where you see a golem, like I said, they will attack on sight. So be wary when they're in a village, and like I said, they ain't afraid to one punch you to the moon and wait for you to fall back and give you that Shoryuken uppercut. Halfway through, 5. Werewolf transformations. Okay, y'all gonna be like, this dude just talked about wolves. Yes, I did, so what? Alright, bite me. Actually don't, because this is a wolf that actually could do that in that game. One bite from the wolf will turn your whole life like Jacob Black from Twilight without Edward running around trying to be Batman. I mean, he actually did a good job playing Batman though, I'm not gonna lie. But for real though, you're just minding your business, doing your own thing, and you see a wolf that looks normal until he bites you when you try to feed him. You go home to attend to your injury and you look down and notice something is a little bit off, right? The night is approaching. You're starving for meat, but it's only raw. You look back down and start to see fur all over your body, your hands, and your feet. Next thing you know, you're howling, running on all fours. Man by day, wolf by night. Coming in at number 4, we got diamond gremlins. I know this doesn't even sound fun, right? Diamond gremlins. Yeah, they are the bona fide dicks of the game. Why? Because you know how freaking hard it is to find diamonds. Alright? Now we gotta deal with diamond gremlins like something out of The Hobbit asking for his precious. No, Brody, leave my diamonds alone. These diamond gremlins do not show up until you have diamonds in the stock / item box. No matter where you hide them, the diamonds, they are gonna find them. You think you're gonna bury your loot chest? No, that's not gonna work. They can dig, they can sniff out like it's no tomorrow. On top, they look like baby zombies with more attitude. What the hell? I want to enjoy my looted diamonds. They go as far as to rip the armor right off of you. These ain't the regular gremlins that you see in the movies. They will haunt your world, waiting ever so patiently for your diamonds. Coming in at number 3. Oh man, this is gonna be a good one. Woodman. Yeah, Woodman is like probably one of the most useless characters in Mega Man. We always talk about it. It's one of like a knee slapper for me. Oh man, but he's not useless in Minecraft. I'll tell you that much. Woodman doesn't sound scary, right? But hey, Woodman will hunt down any trees in the environment, and he's all for the nature. He's kind of like Green Steve without the good Chiba. You know what I mean? As you know, wood is essential in the game, right? Well, Woodman likes to think otherwise. Anytime you chop a tree, he's coming for you. It might not be right away, but the more wood you have, the stronger he becomes, especially if he is in his territory. For example, a wooden house that you've just made becomes his boss arena. And not only that he rests like Snorlax, his defense is also like an iron horse. Try burning him, he's fire resistant. The only way to beat this dude is with an enchanted iron axe. Good luck. Coming in at number 2, something I like to call the Drowned Atlantis. Now, this is not the Lost City Files, or so you would think, right? Where do you think all these drowned zombies and the water zombies, like I like to call them, are coming from? Atlantis. That's what I call it, Atlantis, Hopefully you have the respiration enchantment, because you'll be spending a lot of time under the sea with this creepypasta. The Drowned Atlantis comes with all the horrors without the help of the Little Mermaid. Tried it zombies, jeez, they are gunning for you, waiting to skewer you like, where is Mr. Blue Steve, the protector of the sea? You want your high tier loot in Drowned Atlantis, is right? I do, but oh man, it's scary drowning to death. If you can't find air pockets, a bucket is a must. Too many times you have to deal with areas that need to be unloaded with water. But just be careful on your journey. The sea creatures will stop you. Squids do attack. You have been warned. Coming on to number 1, the finale. And oh, this definitely had to be number 1, Steve's ritual. Y'all know the theory of Minecraft. Some do, some might. But let me sum it up for you. Right? We are Steve. And when you load up into the world, you see all the science behind it all. Hearing the voices saying, yes, this will be the one to conquer all the justice like Judge Dredd. Or so we think. Cutscene flips showing Steve on an operation table, getting pumped with all sorts of needles. Remember, we are Steve. We're watching this through his eyes as we get knocked out by the meds, then tossed into the back of what we presume a ship. Yes, a spaceship. As Steve wakes up, he's in a pod being shot down to a world full of what we call the mob squad. And we cannot get the virus that has spread over this world. Our job? Conquer this world, find the truth about the crafting flu. Coming in at number 10, Red Eyes of Darkness. One evening I was playing Minecraft when I got a message on Skype. It was from a person I didn't know, and it showed a Minecraft server IP. The message below me said, join me. I didn't know what to do, so in a panic I joined the server, and when I got in it showed a complete blacklist, like I was being suffocated by gravel or sand. I thought it was weird, so I went on Skype and called my friend and sent my friend the IP. When my friend arrived, she saw nothing but darkness too. I hit the tab button, and when it showed the player list, all it said was hello. I got scared, so I let go of the tab, and me and my friend sat there staring at nothing but blackness. We had an idea, turned on high jump mod and jumped, but nothing seemed to happen. We left the server, rejoined later, but this time it was said unknown. Hello my fellow players in the chat box. Right after he typed it, we got forced, teleported into nothing but red eyes. We couldn't make out the figure in the darkness, then our screen turned black. A few minutes of waiting, a GUI appeared saying, play with me, in capital letters. There were 2 options, yes or no. We both clicked no. Our Skype call ended and we spawned in the normal world, or so we thought. Went around and there was no animals. We decided to mine some trees down. We punched a piece of wood off of a tree and our hands start bleeding some realistic blood. Our screens once again turned black like we passed out. Our screen was lit up yet again, and we saw the red eyes. But this time, we could just see his head, and we tried to turn on some type of light, any light, but the black, red-eyed figure took my friend. I chased after him, but he teleported like an Enderman. I found a lever which turned on a redstone lamp. I saw I was in a cave with blocks surrounding it, blocks I have never seen before. I quickly realized that they were blood blocks. The lights quickly dimmed out. I saw the GUI saying, "You're next, mum." Ha 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 ha.
In at 9, ENDERMAN.EXE. One day I was in the Xbox 360 game store. Then I saw a game which was called ENDERMAN.EXE. It was orange text with a bunch of Endermen on it. Then I downloaded it and decided to play it. When it started, there was no Mojang or 4J Studios logo, it was just the intro. The orange text with a bunch of Endermen were on the top of the screen, while happy music was playing. When I pressed start, the text was red and the Endermen had blood on them, which stayed for around a second. Then the logo said level 1, the forest. When I was in level 1, my Enderman was in the middle of the forest in the daytime. I needed to find a way to escape. I found a path which led me to the end of the forest, and when I walked there, the song of unhealing music from Ben Drowned played. The trees had no leaves, and there were a lot of dead mobs, including Endermen. When I kept walking, the music got louder and creepier. Finally, when I got to the end of the forest, the music stopped, and I saw a ghast. I walked up to the ghast, and when I got to him, they started talking with each other. Then a bloody picture of a ghast appeared. It stayed on screen for a second, then it cut to black.
Coming in at 8. Endercraft.exe. Everyone knows that if you search through the interwebs for a long time, you will see some weird shit everybody uses from level 0 to 2, but I decided to use a proxy and head straight to level 3. It was after an hour when I came across a website called jailstream.org. The site no longer exists, by the way. Basically, it was a weird streaming website, featured videos of people playing banned games and such. I thought, hey, nothing to it. So I commented on it. You don't need to sign in, it uses your IP. So a few days later, I received an email that said, hey, thank you for showing interest in our website. I am Razor Plus, the chief administrator of jailstream.org, and I would like you to go on this website, fusioncracked.com, pass it on for a good of the mankind. I decided to go on it. It was a website for cracked games, and the highest rated games along the most viewed and most downloaded game was called Endercraft. So I downloaded, and it was a plugin for Minecraft, and it was in version beta 6.6.6, which seemed a bit off, but I added the mod, started my Minecraft, and created the world. The game was very bad, with doo-doo graphics, countless glitches. After 5 minutes, I was taken to a picture of HEROBRINE with his arms cut off, surrounding in a pool of photorealistic blood. I deleted it, went back to the forums, and saw that other users had seen the game. After a day or two, all the threads were deleted, fusioncrack.net and jailstream.org taken down. I tried to make another post, but I was banned. People found out that Razor Plus is a serial killer with Razor and a chicken leg, and he's still at large.
And it's set in Shadow Dragon. This creepypasta comes from the perspective of Brian, who says, I'm a good Minecrafter. I have good building skills and playing skills, but one day I experienced something that I will always remember. On Saturday evening, when I was making a new map with my friend, we got a bit bored of building. Then we decided to go on to a different server. The story starts here. When we went to the server, I noticed it loaded slower. It took 20 seconds, and usually it would take 5. When we loaded the textures, they looked darker, and we were the only ones on. We explored the server and found almost no mobs except for a few zombies. Then we started to walk slower. The screen got darker and creepy music started in the background. Then the screen was very, very dark, barely visible, and we saw a new player join the game called Shadow Dragon. We got a closer look at him and he looked like the Ender Dragon, but darker. He had dragon wings and a tail, and he noticed us looking and said, get ready. If you lose, you and your friend will be eaten, but if you win, you will be left alone. Then we got disconnected from the server with the words, the one who cannot escape will suffer.
Coming in at number 6, John. October 31st, 2013, a 15-year-old boy named Cole Fertson loved playing Minecraft with a similarly aged friend named John. Together, they built many structures and lived happily until something horrible happened in November 1st. That day, Cole was playing Minecraft as usual with John. They were building a giant golem until they both were attacked by an army of spiders. freaking hate spiders. John died and Cole had to kill all the spiders by himself. John suddenly crashed and his computer shut down. He said that his computer couldn't handle the high amount of spiders, lagging his game and crashing. As Cole talked about building the snow golem, John disconnected. Cole tried calling him but no answer. He just looked back at his Minecraft and waited for John to come back. Cole got bored of waiting and got ready for bed, but something or someone was standing in front of the window with jaws open. Was this John? The next morning, Cole woke up with a loud ringing from his phone. Hello? The response was a voice that said, "I will rise." And the phone call ended. Cole was shocked a little and stood there and frozen. He was thinking about John. Cole snapped out of this daze and went downstairs for breakfast. His parents had a worried expression on their faces. What's wrong? And his father slides him the newspaper. As Cole flipped through the pages, he found the page that was shocking. A tear went down his cheek. The title was, "Local Boy John Died in Murders on Meme Street." Cole gave back the newspaper, sat at the table with his family, and quietly chewed his cereal.
Halfway through into number 5, Lunar. I haven't touched Minecraft now. I'm too scared to do it. I can't open it. It haunts me. I'm the only one who's encountered it. Here's my story. 2 weeks ago, it was a normal day in Minecraft. Usually, I was working on my stone creeper statue in my house's backyard, and so far I was finishing its head, until I heard weird running footsteps behind me. I turned around only to find nothing. With this strange occurrence, I grew suspicious, but not for long, as I started to get back to my work. But in a moment, the footsteps returned once again, and this time, I turned around fast, but still only found nothing. Strangely, I thought of this as an in-game error sound effect, so I chose to ignore the footsteps and continue building the stone creeper. It was nighttime when I finished the statue, and I got home inside fast, as I was afraid of the hostile mobs and those weird footsteps outside.
Coming in at number 4, in the woods. I started Minecraft. I spawned in a dense forest, and it was night. I made a 1x3 dirt pillar so I could safely punch the mobs from above. I waited for the night to end, but it didn't. I thought it was a glitch and I turned on peaceful mode so I wouldn't get annoyed. I walked and saw a few trees and noticed something, a sign that said, "Save me, save yourself." I got a little freaked out. I was just imagining it, or was I not alone in this forest? I looked for a village for farming, for food, but not a single village was found. I looked for dungeons, mine shafts, in hopes of finding items in a chest, but not a single item spawned in any of those chests. Eventually, I stored my items and then killed myself. I walked to where I found the weird sign, but it had disappeared to be replaced by another sign. It said, "Too late, your dreams, your life, why didn't you listen?" I walked towards my house trying to ignore it, but another sign I soon found said, "We are lost, never found, soon, same of you." That night I had a horrible dream. I was standing in the woods in the park and the dark night came up to me. It became night. The woods around me became to rot away, big dark trees taking their place. I saw a beast with red eyes glowed. I could not scream, I could not run. His eyes melted into mine and rapidly pain filled my body. It was so real, I fell to the ground with a thud, feeling all my life drain out of my body until I became motionless. I woke up immediately, terrified, but something was wrong. I wasn't in my bed.
Getting close to the end, in number 3, Raiden. I was playing Minecraft with a friend of mine, actually 2 of them, Deadlord24 and Princess Duffy. It was a private server, no one else had our IP, and we were chatting when he joined. At first, Raiden didn't seem harmful, he seemed friendly. He was chatting with us, but I kicked him off the server. All Raiden did was try to talk. I guess that's all he wanted to do. I got off my laptop to eat dinner and so did my friends. The next day though, I went to play Minecraft when something strange happened. When I got to the title screen, the music sounded a bit distorted. I thought it was a glitch, of course you did, so I carried on. But when I came back, Raiden was somehow on the server. Craters had replaced our buildings, and I think that he somehow never left. I went on Skype and invited my friends to Minecraft to show them what had happened, and they eventually joined. Then Raiden spoke. "You left. Don't take it so hard, man. You don't understand the pain I went through. You're no different than the ones who betrayed me." Then the screen glitched and we all got scared. It took me back to the same title screen, except this time the title kept glitching, having random placements all over the screen. I clicked play and it took me to a world. Then Raiden said I was just like you, a regular Minecraft player. All I wanted to do was talk to people. They bullied me. It was my depression that led me to kill myself, all because of those brats. But now, you play by my rules. When I catch you, you die. So, what are you waiting for? Run.
Coming in at number 2, the truth about Minecraft. The game is not about homie Brian trying to take your soul. Yes, he is real in my eyes, glasses on or off, okay? It's not about that hidden files in the app data folder. It's about isolation. and solitude in the most iconic form, and it is powerful. If you notice, Minecraft is a story about you, the lone human, and in its endless world, a wanderer, a farmer, a builder, a warrior capable of creating anything he desires, but first must try to survive on his own. The world in itself taunts him. It gives him all the materials he could wish for, but not only one true companion. I mean, he had Alex, Brian. What happened? He may come across the village, but the people are alien to him, unable to speak his language or aid him in any way. And what becomes of him? Nothing. He will venture into hell himself, slay horrible abominations, and stop the end from destroying the world he became attached to, and no one other will be there to notice. No one will be there to even care. No one but him will even see the message sent apparently by the gods. Steve will live, Steve will mine, Steve will die. That's all we will ever know, and you're forcing it on him. He has no choice. He lives his life, but in your game, he will die, he will be reborn, and he will have to do it again and again and again. That is the truth of Minecraft.
Finally, in at number 1, HEROBRINE. I had recently spawned a new world in single-player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first as I began chopping down trees and crafting a workbench. I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow though. Looking back at me was another character with the default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double-checked to make sure that I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He looked at me and quickly ran back into the fog. I continued on with the game, and as I expanded the world, I saw things that seemed to be out of place for a random map generator to make. 2x2 tunnels, small perfect pyramids made of sand in the ocean, and groves of trees all with their leaves cut off. I would constantly think that I saw this other player in the fog, but never when I looked in that direction. I saved the map and then went on the forums to see if anyone else had found this mysterious player. I received a PM from the username HEROBRINE containing one word: stop. About a month passed until I heard from someone again, and it was revealed that this HEROBRINE was the brother of Notch, the game's developer. I personally emailed Notch and asked him firsthand if he had a brother, and his only response: I did, but he's no longer with us.